All right, we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here, Eric Rodriguez, every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time on the GSMC Sports Network. Talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling. We talk about all the action inside and outside of the ring, backstage curtain calls, rumors, drama. We talk about superstar inactive statuses, injury updates. We talk about contract negotiation statuses, also extensions and new signings. We talk about WWE, AEW, TNA, Stardom, New Japan Professional Wrestling, the GCW, basically anywhere. Absolutely anywhere if it makes major news headlines in the terms of professional wrestling. We talk about it here on this show, so don't forget to like and subscribe to the network so you guys can get a notification whenever we go live. All right, so can I reflect on what we talked about right quick? We had our WWE Monday Night Raw. We talked about our WWE SmackDown review. Then we talked about our Monday Night Raw talk, which we kind of previewed, talked about some scenarios that's going to happen tonight. Then we talked about Netflix, streaming difficulties, concern WWE. And now we're going to talk about the 12-year anniversary of The Shield. I love The Shield, I got to be honest. When they first kind of made it onto the scene, at the time, I kind of hated CM Punk, so I was kind of like, oh, great. I was a John Cena guy. What do you want from me? At the time, I was a young boy. That's the demographic that John Cena. I was in eighth grade. Damn it, how old was I? I think I was a sophomore. I don't mean to give up my age here, but I'm trying to think. I think I was a sophomore, and I saw because I was a Ryback guy. I was a Ryback guy too, and I was like, finally, CM Punk, this guy is going to lose the championship to either Ryback or John Cena, but obviously that didn't happen. I was pissed. I was like, who the hell are these three clowns right here? Coming through the crowd thinking that you guys own the place. The Schreier Hotel, Indio, Echo, Lima, Delta, Shield. Why do I care? Who the hell are these guys? And then later on down the line of life in terms of professional wrestling, I'm a huge fan of Seth Rollins. I'm a huge fan of Roman Reigns. And I'm a huge fan of Jon Moxley. So, at the end of the day, they went out and they did what they ultimately wanted to accomplish in WWE. But not WWE just in general, because Jon Moxley's killing it in AEW, and they did do well. Obviously, Roman Reigns. Obviously, all of them had their pre-WWE. NXT, Florida Championship Wrestling. There was before. So, 2012 WWE Survivor Series was held in Indianapolis. CM Punk defended his WWE Championship against Ryback and John Cena in a triple threat match. During the match, at the end of it, you saw three men come out. They were seen jumping over the guardrails. A lot of people thought this was, just angry fans trying to get involved. The onslaught began. Michael Cole recognized these three men as Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns, which will later be announced as The Shield. So, together, they were unstoppable, guys. First and foremost. These guys they couldn't be beat. They couldn't be beaten. There was even a part where, I think John Cena teamed up with Ryback. No, it wasn't Ryback. I'm not too sure what it was. But they were supposed to win. They were supposed to beat The Shield, but John Cena told WWE creative that, he didn't think it was a good idea. Destroying these guys is... basically, their push would have been detrimental to their future characters, also their future careers heading toward professional wrestling, which would find out to be actually the right choice, because a lot of these three superstars basically went out there, basically became the face of WWE, and it's something at the time they desperately needed. You had John Cena, and I know that you guys don't want to really consider John Cena and The Rock in the same book. John Cena actually, he gave Rock crap about, coming to WWE whenever you wanted to, saying that you were going to come back. But then the moment Hollywood picked up the phone and called and gave you a role in a low rate television or movie role where you were just some guy, you took it. You left these WWE fans, you stomped on their hearts, basically say, hey, yeah, see you later. I'll come back in WWE when I'm not doing movies and when my persona in terms of Hollywood needs to stay on the grid. So that's why John Cena was super upset. He said he never wanted to become like The Rock, and they got to the point where John Cena was doing Hollywood too, and he actually apologized to Dwayne The Rock Johnson for cutting that promo, saying that, you know what, I never really understood how much being a part of Hollywood, being a part of that Hollywood grind would ultimately affect my status here in WWE. But it did, and it does. So, it was just ultimately kind of crazy. John Cena was kind of like on his way out. And then, you had, Triple H, kind of old, getting older, wasn't really a part of any of the storylines. JBL basically retired. The Undertaker basically on his way of retiring. Kane on his way to retiring. Like, everybody was either going to retire within the next couple of years, or basically everybody kind of became complacent with the characteristics, well, not the characteristics, I don't want to say that, with the roles they ultimately had in WWE. And then out came the Shield. Out came the Shield. At first, nobody wanted to work with these guys. Nobody wanted to work with Seth, John. Nobody wanted to work with Roman at all. You saw these guys as a potential threat to a WWE company and roster on SmackDown and Raw that have kind of become complacent with where they're at. I don't know if that was a Vince McMahon, kind of thing, or that Vince McMahon basically, subdued and kind of hammered in the brains of all these wrestlers that, hey, you don't get to decide where you're going next. You don't get to decide what storyline you have to choose. A lot of the times, and it's been reported that Vince McMahon was approached by a numerous amount of athletes, by a numerous amount of WWE superstars, asking for character changes, adding new flavor, wanting to have something new, something fresh in terms of WWE, and he shot it down because he was also powerful. He was the leader of wrestling. He was the guy telling these announcers, Corey Graves, Michael Cole, obviously, back in the day, telling them what to say, what to do, how to do it, how to say it, how to seem, how to, how to be emotional. Like, it's kind of like that manager at where you work, where he micromanages so damn much to the point where it was like, dude, like, let me do what I have to do. Let me do what I do great. And in the end, guess what? You're going to look like a genius, although you didn't tell me spit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to shine. And that's exactly what happened with these three superstars. They came out, nobody wanted any part of them. They found out how Jon Moxley even, he said in an interview how they literally didn't give an F about how anybody felt. He didn't give an F what, WWE felt. They were ultimately going to be pushed anyways with these young superstars. So it got to the point where they were literally kind of creating their own storylines, which was very taboo in this day and age of professional wrestling in the WWE. And it got to the point where main superstars like Bryan Danielson, like Claudio Castagnoli, Cesaro, a lot of these superstars were like, you know what, I want to work with them. They got everybody wanting to work with them. It went from them kind of coming in and being like, the new kids on the block, these guys think their stuff don't stink. These guys, come hot off of NXT. Roman Reigns obviously was given crap because of his relation to The Rock and the Mayavias, the Usos, the Fatus, and all that. The Inois, and they laughed. They laughed and they're like, you know what? I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna get mine. And it got to the point where a lot of the superstars kind of mimicked the style that they had in WWE. So then it kind of created this transformation from WWE, kind of this butterfly effect that this Shield ultimately had on a lot of the locker room, but most importantly, left on WWE personnel to kind of have to change their attitudes. Left on Vince McMahon to be like, kind of look in the mirror and be like, hey, are you the reason why WWE's failing in 2014? So, at the time, it was, it was a little crazy, but these guys actually, these guys were amazing. They were together, they were unstoppable. In their 6-man tag team matches, they were undisputed. They had an undefeated streak that lasted from December of 2012 to May 2013. A lot of them won gold, so, it was kind of crazy because at the time, you had Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns become the WWE Tag Team Champions, and Dean Ambrose become the United States Champion. Seth Rollins obviously left the group in June 2nd after the chair shot that was heard all around the world. All three WWE champions within the 3-minute span. That's kind of funny. In 2016, Money in the Bank, where Seth Rollins defeated Roman Reigns to win the WWE Championship, and then Dean Ambrose, who won the briefcase earlier in the PLE, came in and cashed in on Seth Rollins and won the WWE Championship. I feel like that's kind of cool. That's kind of a cool stat there. In 2017, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins reunited to win the Raw Tag Team Championships from The Bar. The Shield reunited August 20th, 2018 on Monday Night Raw to prevent Braun Strowman from cashing in on Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, of course, announced that his leukemia, came back, so the Shield disbanded. But he returned in February 2019. The trio reunited and won their match at WWE Fastlane. Dean Ambrose was obviously the mouthpiece. He was the vocal point of WWE, of the Shield, where they would record on a camcorder in not first person, but in third person. Then you had Roman Reigns, who was the powerhouse, the quiet strength of the crew. He was the heavy hitter. He was the big dog. Seth Rollins was the outspoken, chaotic, unpredictable hothead. Of course, it was seemingly chosen that he would be the one to stab the back. Joey Mercury was the trainer and also the producer of the Shield as well. He wanted them to wear turtlenecks and riot Shield, and came out. CM Punk actually came up with the idea of the Shield with Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and at the time it was Cassius Ono, which was kind of replaced by Roman Reigns ultimately in the end. And they rebelled against the Authority, turning babyface after not attacking Jerry the King Lawler. They defeated everyone in the Authority. Also, they defeated a lot of great six-man teams, which was actually pretty badass. Also, in the Battleground, they defeated Evolution. It was a single elimination match, and they didn't lose a guy. They didn't lose one freaking guy. So, the Shield, obviously together, they were absolutely unstoppable. And separate, guess what? They were amazing as well. All of them were champions in separate occasions. Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose actually won PWI's Feud of the Year in 2014. Ambrose and Reigns maintained an on-screen friendship. They would watch each other's back, kind of vicariously without like a spoken agreement. Seth Rollins spoke with, he spoke with the Pivot, and he said, and I quote, "Breaking up the Shield was extremely an important moment for us. Business was not great then, obviously 2014. TV ratings were kind of declining. The TV was shifting to streaming services. The three guys basically, it was really good for WWE to kind of have these guys separate. It was really, really good. You had three guys in one amazing act turn into three amazing acts, and a bunch of accomplishments. Seth Rollins explained in a butterfly effect how three men leading the world of professional wrestling, obviously right now, if they never got broken up. Jon Moxley wouldn't be as successful as he was in AEW. Seth Rollins would not be as successful as he was as a singles competitor. And Roman Reigns, Tribal Chief. The longest reigning WWE Universal WWE Champion, Undisputed Champion of all time, basically, in modern contemporary America. I mean, in WWE. But it was the best way to kind of have these guys kind of ultimately round out their relationship. You knew that was going to happen. Whenever a faction comes in, like the New Day, you're kind of always expecting them to break up. Like the Usos, it's nothing. I don't think a faction has ever broken up and been successful like these three men. I got to be honest. I've never really seen it, in my life. Usually when somebody, breaks up, usually there's one person that flourishes, the other person kind of, they kind of, they demolish their standings in terms of being, kind of relevant in terms of professional wrestling. But, Moxley right now, like I said, AEW is revolutionary. Roman Reigns sitting at the head of the table. Seth Rollins being the visionary that he is right now. We will never see, and I'm sad to say it, another Shield reunion until the WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony. And Jon Moxley wanted to cap off the interview with Justin Barroso of the Sports Sports Illustrated, highlighted the group's work ethic. And it was, basically saying because of the way they work, it caused everyone to kind of step up their game. Kind of creating this new professional wrestling era that was led by Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns. All right, guys, so hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to jump on into our fifth and final segment. We got Speedball Mike Bailey and Josh Alexander, both on TNA. We're going to talk about their future in terms of, where are they going to go? What does this mean for them? Kind of not really stating they're going to take a hiatus, but we're going to dive into that when we come back. So, hey, grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice-cold beverage, and join me here in about 25 seconds. So, hey, do not go anywhere.